Good morning and happy Friday to you. I want to read to you from John chapter 6, verse 59 through 63. That's John chapter 6, Gospel of John chapter 6, verses 59 through 63. The Word of God says, These things he said in the synagogue as he taught in Capernaum. Therefore, many of his disciples, when they heard this, said, This is a difficult statement. Who can listen to it? But Jesus, knowing in himself that his disciples were grumbling at this, said to them, Does this cause you to stumble? What then if you see the Son of Man ascending to where he was before? The Spirit is the one who gives life. The flesh profits nothing. The words that I have spoken to you are spirit and are life. I wanted to share this with you this morning for a couple of reasons. As most of you probably know, yesterday they elected a new leader to one of the largest false religions in the world. They elected a new pope, and it made me think about the differences. The differences between the Roman Catholic Church and the Protestant Church. And a lot of it has to do with theology. You know, Jesus plus the Word, Jesus plus the Church, Jesus plus all these other works and the sacraments and all those things are how they lay out a path of salvation. That's not the way that Jesus laid it out, but that's the way they lay it out. And not only that, I thought about church as a whole and why we go to church. The biblical and real reason why Christians go to church is to worship God and to fellowship with the saints. And that's it, really. I mean, we go to church to worship God corporately together, and we go there to fellowship with one another in this common focus of worshiping our God. We don't go there to socialize. We don't go there to be entertained. We don't go there for the coffee and the donuts. All these things that are going on these days with churches, and people feel connected over here, but they don't feel connected over there. They feel connected because of the music here, but they don't feel connected over here because they sing hymns and psalms or whatever. This is not the reason why we go to church. And I wanted to point out to you that Jesus is saying all these difficult things in John chapter 6. You know, no one could come to the Father, or no one could come to the Son unless the Father draw him. You have to eat my flesh, drink my blood. All these things Jesus said. And in verse 59, where we picked up this morning, it said, These things he said to them in the synagogue. Now, what is a synagogue? It's a house of worship. It's a house of worship. So while Jesus was saying all these difficult things, they were at the church. They were at the worship service. And it was hard sayings. It was difficult things to hear. The disciples said that this is a difficult statement. Who can listen to it? Who can, the Greek there says, who can consider or reflect on this? When was the last time you sat in a church service where the preacher said some things that were hard to hear? That when you were sitting there, you were just overwhelmed with the difficulty of what he was saying, or and not difficult as in it's highly theological and you can't just comprehend it, but difficult in that these are things that you know that are hitting you in the heart that you must do as a Christian. But we don't do that, right? We hear something hard, and the first thing we do is we scuttle down the street to the next church and see if we're more comfortable there. The disciples said that they could not understand this, and Jesus said, Does this cause you to stumble? The word stumble there means to blunder morally. So, does this cause you to stumble? Does this cause you to throw away everything that you know to be true and swap it for your comfort? Jesus said in verse 63 that the Spirit is the one who gives life, and the flesh profits nothing. And the words that I spoke to you were spirit and life. The flesh profits not one single thing. Nothing. Feeling good in a church service does nothing for you spiritually. Feeling comfortable at a church does nothing for you spiritually. We should be singularly focused when we go to church, that we're there to worship God. No matter what's going on around us, no matter what Miss Betty's doing in the pew in front of you or Mr. Jack's doing in the pew beside you, you're there to worship God. And that's it. So I want to try to encourage you today. I know it's kind of a hard lesson, but I want to encourage you to focus on worshiping God. I want to encourage you to get into a church that's going to tell you the truth, no matter how uncomfortable you become. I hope you have a good weekend. May God bless you.